Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a match between Violet and Flash. And I think this is Heartbreak Ridge, but it's in Korean. Let's check it out real quick before we introduce the players. Yeah, okay. Yep, we are on Heartbreak Ridge for sure. Cool stuff. Huh. I thought this was more of a foreigner map, but we got two Koreans going at it here. That's the second time I've seen that recently. What is that? Anyway, what are we doing? On the left side of the map, it is the red Terran player. It is Flash. And on the right side of the map, it is the white Protoss player, Violet. A really excellent Protoss player. Unfortunately, he passed away from leukemia back in 2012. Somebody actually requested a few months ago that I cast a few Violet games because it was one of his favorite players. And I looked into his history, kind of was saddened by it. You know, losing such a young and up-and-coming talent like that. Something like leukemia is just heartbreaking, really. So I figured today, let's just see how he did against Flash, the game they played against each other clearly from before 2012. I don't know exactly when. I think the folder on this one said 2009. So, 2009... or so is when this was played. Some of you guys ask that, and sometimes I don't know, but sometimes I do know. So I'll try to get you that information when I have it available. Now, Flash is known for his absolute dominance of TVP in a matchup where other Terrans struggle mightily with it. We have seen other players beat him before from the Protoss perspective. We saw Light off racing as Protoss beat Flash in one of the most ridiculously incredible games I have ever seen. I've never seen Protoss played more like Zerg than I have in that match with Light playing Protoss. He expanded a ton, more than you'd ever expect to see from a Protoss. He was pumping out 12 Dragoons at a time, way before you'd expect him to, and he was just keeping the pressure on Flash all day long. Every time Flash tried to unsiege and move out, Dragoons jumped on him. Over and over and over, and he lost Dragoons, but he killed tanks, and that's what mattered. And he got the win, and I've just always considered that to be the blueprint for how to beat Flash as Protoss. And the answer is, play like Zerg. It's hard. It is really hard to do this. But we'll see how Violet can hold on here today, and if he can take home that win for his Protoss brethren. Alright, so what are we doing? Cybernetics Core coming in. There's no expansion on the way here yet from Violet. Both pylons are here inside the main base. SCV sees that and says, feels a little bit aggressive. There's not an expansion yet, but Flash hasn't expanded yet either, and he's actually going for a factory. So, if we're working on, there you go, Singularity Charge and some Dragoons for the attack, there's not going to really be much for them to do at this stage. They can try to take down this barracks, but by the time they get here, there's going to be a tank out, because Flash did not expand before going for that factory. So Violet was trying to get an advantage, right? Oh, trying to get an advantage by going for the quick Singularity Charge. I don't think he's going to find it. Is that that's a supply depot block? Ah, look how it messes up the pathing on these probes. They have to go all the way around. Dragoon shows up. Okay, we're over. We canceled. Dragoon gets stuck on his own probes there, too, because that's what happens in StarCraft sometimes. Takes, what is it, 8 shots for a Dragoon to kill an SCV? There we go. It's down. Get down, get down. Get down, get down. I mean, look at this. Flash isn't even bothering to build a tank. He's like, I got this. Let's go ahead and get a machine shop first. Make my command center safely inside the main base. There's a Zealot out here, which I didn't even see this guy come across the map, but a Dragoon's definitely on the way, and another Dragoon is definitely on the way, and Singularity Charge is coming up, and Violet really should consider expanding right about now if he wants to keep up with what Flash is doing, and even better, if he wants to out-macro him, which again, I really feel like you kind of have to do. So there's the expansion. Okay, nicely done. And let's just get some free shots off on this barracks, and a free shot off on a Marine too, because we are not making any medics in this game. I can tell you that much. No medics today. Then the tank shows up, and the Dragoons say, all right, we'll back off. Jeez, leave us alone. Is he even going? He's not even... Wow. All right, there we go. Siege mode now being researched. I was like, huh, maybe... I mean, he could just be going for Spider Mines instead. That's not a bad upgrade. Oh, free shot. There you go. 2 big shots on that tank. Not bad here. I'm kind of liking this play, actually. Zealot getting some free shots off on that supply depot. 3 SCVs pulled off the line to repair it, because if this Zealot gets inside, if the Dragoons get inside, it is suddenly bad news bears. for Flash, but losing the Zealot's a problem. He's just very patiently waiting for Siege to show up. He's repairing the tanks as necessary, and the Dragoons have to fall back. Robotics Facility follow-up here from Violet after he gets range for his Dragoons, because for always and always, you want to get that range. If you don't get range for Dragoons in a PvT, you're probably just going to lose the entire setup, so never ever forget that upgrade. By the way, did I mention that we have merch? There is merch available for holiday shoppings if you're into that kind of stuff. It's just at falconpaladin.store. If you have some suggestions for shirt ideas for me, let me know in the comments. We'll see what we can do. Now, this is Violet checking to make sure that these minerals still exist, right? These are stacks of 0... Let's see. Stacks of mineral patches worth 0 minerals. So an SCV or a drone or a probe mines through, one is removed. Then you have to get the next one, then the next one, then the next one, and eventually you get through. I had a couple of people actually tell that to me. That's how the comments worked in the In Control versus Morrow game that I posted just last Saturday, which was a pretty fun game. And again, In Control, another player that we've lost. I don't want to say that's going to be the trend from now on, because it is 20 years old. The game is 20 years old at this point. We're going to start seeing former elite players like Violet pass on. And I mean, it's a sad thing, but maybe we should be emotionally prepared for it, as you can't really get around it. Death is the inevitable. Alright, we're not getting too far into that. We are here to have fun and watch StarCraft. So Flash, on the other side of things, is doing flashy things, making tanks, for example. Engineering bay floating about. He just wanted... He wants it so he can make some supply depots. Missile turrets, rather. Wow, he's really worried about drops coming in and ruining him, which is entirely fair, because by golly, there was a Reaver in production. There is a Reaver in production, and Reaver drops are going to be part of the show here. Hardly to get in, though, if, in fact, there are missile turrets. Now, recognizing the fact that not much of Flash's army can shoot up, drops make a lot of sense. He's not going to really start making Goliaths until he needs to, until Arbiters come out, until Carriers come out, if, in fact, that's where we go with this from Violet. So, man, Reaver drops on these tanks, though, are so good. I'm really surprised they're not sieged up. I guess he realizes the first drop coming in, he's worried about the Zealots is what he's worried about. Can't necessarily blame him for that. Ooh, Violet taking a quick third. Loving that. Loving the quick third base. Here comes the shuttle, and doesn't really want to unload here because the tanks are following Flash. You're so good at this game. How are you so good at this game? He just shoves it away. No big deal. Got my stuff. Let's go ahead and make sure that never, ever comes close to happening. Spider Mine's in production. Love that. Academy coming in. Whoa. I guess maybe that's for the ComSat station. I don't know what else he'd be doing that for, to be honest. Citadel of a Dune warping in. Got ourselves a Dragoon count just in case some Vultures show up. And in fact, Vultures are on the way. And, ooh, is that a hit? A little bit of a hit. Again, Scarab damage on explosion is weird sometimes. It's very strange. I love this pylon block off up here. That's good. Violet doing really smart things right now. Flash just doing smart things too. So nobody really has an advantage at this point. Violet's up about 15 supply, which is to be expected because he's on 3 bases, effectively. As that one is starting to come in right now. Remaking another command center at all Flash. He's pretty happy with the 2 he has, it seems like. Starport on the way, factory on the way. Again, Flash's strategy is to make a million tanks, show up at your front door, and ruin your day. Spider-Mine's getting tossed up, and they'll start working on this wall if they, if they can. Why not? And if somebody tries to come and kill us, they'll walk into these spider mines. They're really good at taking down shields on things, which is why the shields are gone on this pylon. It will take some time for the Vultures to get through it. Oh, actually got... No, the control, pretty good there. Oh, pretty good there, too. Violet's control on these Dragoons is actually fantastic. That was really good stuff. And then up in production here, another pylon, just in case this one actually dies. So far, so good. Flash is just building his command center on the low ground instead of up here. I don't know what the appeal for that is, but maybe Violet won't see it, I guess, is the idea. Perhaps trying to hide it here. Zealot legs in production. Leg enhancements, a big deal in PvT. Watching that mini-map, watching for drops. Making sure we're not missing any engagements here. Again, I am solo casting here, which means I'm observing and play-by-play and color commentating all at the same time, which is not easy to do. You'll notice There are no professional tournaments in StarCraft that has one person do all the work, because it's hard and it doesn't make any sense and stuff's going to get missed. So I'm doing my best. I do appreciate the feedback you guys give me of stuff to watch out for and little things to be aware of in the game, little tidbits that you picked up from watching for many years. I really appreciate the feedback that you give, and I try to work it into my cast as much as possible. So Violet's up 117 to 87 total supply. He is looking really fantastic right now. Kind of like what he's into. Upgrades. No attack upgrades for anybody on the ground yet, and none on the way here from Violet, interestingly enough. Vehicle weapons, level 2. Coming in from Flash, so that upgrade advantage is going to be a big deal for him fairly soon. Vulture's just scouting about, trying to see if there are any extra bases they need to worry about here, because again, Violet took the third, I think, sooner than Flash intended him to take it. Charon boosters in production, and now Goliath's on the way, which... I guess well, what do we got here? Templar Archive's done, which means Arbiter Tribunal is likely next. He's just making this a little bit earlier, perhaps, than he needs to, but better late than never, I suppose. I mean, it definitely does not seem like a carrier transition out of Flash to me. He's got way too many gateways for that. He hasn't taken his third gas yet, either. That indicates to me that we're not going for carriers. Again, Arbiter Tribunal, definitely a play. Observer scouting around to see if there's anything to kill in the top left, and by golly, there is. Flash taking his third base and his third refinery. You need a lot of gas for those tanks and those Goliaths. Arbiter Tribunal now coming up somewhere at the natural base. Sure, why not put it there? That's a lot of Zealots, man. That's a lot of Zealots, a lot of Dragoons. He's getting it free damage where he can find it against Flash. Violet's up 50 supply. He's up 50 supply on Flash right now. Again, Flash is not worried about this. His tank count has been increasing steadily. He hasn't lost any tanks yet. And once you get a certain number of +2 tanks, it gets impossible for Protoss to engage with you. And if you can get them across the map, which is the secret, is being able to get them across the map without getting jumped on, then you're going to have a pretty good time. The Terran soundtrack, as part of the StarCraft soundtrack, it is the most nostalgic for me. It just brings back instant memories of me playing the game, playing through the campaign, learning about this weird RTS. I mean, I loved Warcraft 2, so it wasn't too foreign to me, the concepts. How Zerg worked was definitely a new thing to me, but Terran, I was just right at home. It's really just like orcs and humans in Warcraft 2. All right, Violet, he's posturing here. What's the Vulture count? Not super high, but the tank count's insane. Have I mentioned that? How the tank count is insane right now. Breaking this is going to be so hard. No stasis or anything, huh? All right, shuttle coming in does get wrecked. Violet trying to make things happen right now, and I'm not sure it's entirely going to work out for him. Defensive Matrix coming up, or any EMPs tossed down, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, he is forced to flee from this position. This second layer of tanks is what really I don't think Violet was prepared for. So he's forced to pull back. But again, he killed some tanks, and that's what you gotta do. While double expanding. Dude, Violet knows what's up. Look at him go. He's double expanded since I've been talking and jabbering about all this stuff. About my nostalgia. Stasis on the way. Oh, EMP wasn't done yet, so there wasn't EMP in that battle, but I imagine Flash would have liked to use them if it was available. Arbiters coming in. Stasis going to take a while, and getting stormed. So Violet knows all of the pieces to how to beat a Terran player in a PvT game, and how to keep up on economy and everything else. Suddenly, it's 136 to 130. Flash has caught up in total supply. He's taking a fourth base at the 6 o'clock position. And we have the Arbiters now. All right, so Arbiter coming in, providing that permanent cloak, which is nice. Again, Science Vessels see right through it, so maybe not as good. Observer trying to find a spot to hide and get that information out without getting picked out of the sky, which hard to do, especially if you fly right into a Goliath with Charon boosters and there's a Science Vessel present. Saving it actually might even be possible there. Not bad. Oh no! Snipes it off, Flash! Attention to detail is insane. So he loses the Observer, and now these Spider Mines are a major problem. But replacing an Observer coming in. Are we getting speed for Observers? No? Really? We don't? Alright, well, Recall's coming in, so you're definitely going to try to recall Flash at some point here. And yeah, Dragoon's clearing those Spider Mines out, which just is bait to walk into tank fire. That's exactly what happened. Yeah. Tank down, blue blood seeping. into the dirt here. So this is, man, this is the most patient macro style PvT I've ever cast on this map, I think. This is the only map that has, or base that hasn't been taken to the bottom right. I guess the center technically counts, but you really only ever take that base if, in fact, you are way ahead and just seeking to get more ahead. 10 Dragoons in production at a time, working on additional upgrades. They have the +1, which is really important here. That +2, +1 is done, though, from Flash, and he's working on the +3. And, I'm worried about this. This is the most passive I've seen Flash, too. He's really not sending in vulture attacks anywhere. Not that I guess there are easy places to do it, but usually we see him a little bit more active than this in his PvTs. Bottom right-hand base, Flash might as well take a command center here at this stage. There's really nothing stopping it from happening. We have split the map entirely in half, and this is the problem, right? Violet takes those early bases, can't really get anything done with it, and now Flash is just easily setting up and taking the other half and catching up in supply. So, I mean, sure, Violet's maxed out. That is super great. But now Flash is very close to getting maxed out. He has the same number of bases that you do, and we've just split this literally right down the diagonal here, like I like to cut my peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Yeah, the Protoss music just doesn't have the same kind of nostalgia for me and the same kind of power as the Terran soundtrack does. I don't know what it is. I played through the whole campaign. What's funny is my parents didn't let me play this when I was a kid, as a recall happens inside the main here. All right, going after the armory, trying to deny an upgrade. Does deny +3 vehicle. Not bad. Going after this main command center. That's a pretty big deal here, too. Guaranteed damage or not, he ends up getting it. He's got, oh, the EMP, though. I was going to say he has a High Templar, but now it has no energy because it just got EMP'd. What a beautiful EMP. Out of Flash there. Supply depot's getting hammered, going after control towers because why not? Vultures actually going to deal with these Dragoons just because they have the sheer numbers for it. And eventually this is going to get cleaned out. Oh, the control tower. Finish the control tower. They got it. Okay, they got it. All right, so this is pretty good. I gotta say, out of Violet here, he's getting some really good damage done inside the main base. Sniped off the main command center so that this refinery can't actually be harvested from very effectively anymore. Meanwhile, huge attack with stasis coming into the 6 o'clock position. Dude, Violet is getting some serious work done here. Here come the science vessels. Are they gonna go ahead, toss down some EMPs? Yes, 1 EMP, 2 EMPs, but is enough army coming in. Great storms on the tanks at the front. Base down, that's all that really matters. And if they keep pushing to the right, they can probably take out this bottom right-hand base too. Violet in a great position right now. Vulture's trying to stop this from happening. Spider-Mine's trying to stop this from happening. It's not going to happen. These SCVs are in trouble. The command center, is it getting repaired is the question. SCV is kind of trying to repair it, but oh my gosh, Violet making stuff happen. He actually would rather go after these tanks and whittle down the tank count than go after the command center right now because he killed all of the workers is what he did. Dude, can he finish off this command center? It's at least burning down. And another couple hits. He gets it. He gets the command center. And another army coming in. Violet is non-stop aggression right now. Ladies and gentlemen, taking out another couple tanks. EMP on the Arbiter. Okay, fine. I'm not sure I was planning on doing a lot here anyway. Look at him trying to get on top of these tanks that are separated. Oh, they are separated from their Vulture brethren. Trying to get on top of these dudes. Storms. Suicide storms coming in there, and all the tanks get wiped out. And it is 165 to 128 total supply in favor of Violet. Flash needs to make something happen right this very second, and he is. He's pushing north. He wants to take out the 12 o'clock expansion of Violet if he can. Getting flanked by Violet's army coming the other way. A bit of Violet's army is kind of stuck down here to the south. Not much in a position to help with this particular battle. But Violet's up 50 supply at the 20-minute mark of this game. This left side base is in trouble too. What an insane counterattack from Flash right now. That 12 o'clock Nexus is going to go down. The top left Nexus is going to go down here too. I just don't see any way for Violet to stop this from happening. And Flash says, sure, wipe out 2 of my bases. I'll get 2 of yours in the next 60 seconds. How do you feel about that, Violet? And Violet says, no thanks. Another EMP toss down. Violet's EMPs or rather Flash's EMPs on Violet's units are super duper good right now. I don't know what we're looking at. This is insane. Science Vessel's getting picked off. Zealots coming right on in. Largely dying to the Vultures, though. Storming his own Zealots, that's something you kind of have to live with. So left-hand base is dead. 12 o'clock base is dead, but Flash's army is getting obliterated. Violet was patient. He knew he couldn't move in with the units that he had. So he moved in with the units when he could successfully take this down. Zealots versus tanks. If you kite with the tanks, you're going to have a better time. Maybe a stasis on him? Ooh, maybe he comes in cloaked. That'd be pretty good. Alright, 160 to 117 supply. Yeah, cloaked Zealots going for it. There's the scan, but is it too late is the question. Well, one Zealot down, and no, scan was perfectly on time. Thank you for asking. Woo! Flash retaking his 4th. Oh, actually expanding to the bottom right is Violet, because why not? Because that's the aggression we're seeing here today. What a fantastic match this has been. I really feel like this might deserve an epic tag based on how good it has been to this point. I still got to give the edge to Flash, though. He was able to successfully wipe out a couple bases of Violet's after losing a couple of his. And that's the reason he's still in this game. And the fact that he still has a million tanks, and they have +3. He managed to make another armory and finish that, or just finish it on the same armory, I suppose. Observer down. Violet pulling back here. Violet actually has 1,000 minerals in the bank. He's rebuilding this nexus. He's doing it. He's rebuilding the top left nexus, and he's taking the bottom right. This is massive. Flash is on a 3-base economy right now. His natural is done. His main base actually has more minerals than you would expect, but that's only because he lost his main during one of those recalls that you see. I guess the only recall that's happened in this game, as far as I know. Anyway, man, he really snuck that in there, didn't he? That missile turret line was super good. Really good. Okay, a bit of a calm here before the storm. I feel like the Dragoons do have the +3 attack and +1 armor, but almost fully upgraded mech here as that +3 mech attack armor, or mech armor rather, is coming up. Another observer down. He really wants to go for the main, doesn't he? He's feeling like he wants to go for the main, but at the same time heading on back home. Resaturating that gas in the top left is going to be super duper useful for Violet here. And there's no gas down here at the south for Flash. That's kind of a big deal. All these probes are taking a very safe transfer path up along the top. And Violet is positioning himself in a place to where if Flash comes up this way, at least he'll be able to do something about it. And hopefully dissuade him from going there. So yeah, all these probes need to go. Third base, completely done. Let's head out up, take that 12 o'clock position again. 172 to 143 supply. Enough of an army in both positions here to really cover all of his existing bases. Is that another dead observer? Almost. Almost another dead observer. But not quite. Ah, alright. So tanks do find this bottom right-hand base. Violet is forced to give that one up, but it is delayed. A little bit. Maybe not all that much. Free Arbiter? Yeah, got EMP'd and then taken down. They're trying to recall up here. He might have been able to make it. But there's just too much vision for Flash to allow that to happen. And boy, Flash is catching back up again. This is what I always say. If you're in a great position, you need to keep pressing. The longer you sit back, you're maxed out. Can't get any better, and then your opponent gets maxed out, and they can't get any better either. But at least they're on even footing with you. Flash doing a great job defending, though. It's so hard to attack up these ramps with the spider mines and the tanks. And the upgrades we're seeing on this mech, too, is just insanely good. Another observer suicide in. See what we're dealing with. It's a lot of vultures, actually. Stasis is the science vessel. But there are still 2 science vessels here. EMP, did he get both those arbiters? What an EMP. Gets both of those Arbiters, removing all energy and all shields. Coming in for it again, though. Violet, I don't know about this. You don't have any stasises available. Trying to drop on top of these units. Trying to get some storms on the drop, making the tanks a little bit weaker and easier to kill when you come in with the Dragoons. Wow. Storms, really fantastic. But Flash has the lead in supply after that battle. Tanks firing from the back lines. And again, Violet maybe underestimating how many. Oh, Violet taps out. And Flash is your winner in 25 minutes and 24 seconds. Premature? Premature tap out is my question here. Boy, that was a carbon copy of the previous engagement here, wasn't it? Pushed down, wiped out most of what Flash had, but this last line of defense that Flash has setting up here, really getting it done. 8 kills, 5 kills, 3 and 1 there. The EMPs were disgusting from Flash too, making sure there were no stasises available. If those 2 Arbiters had gotten stasises down on those tanks, it would have been a much different battle, but Flash's ability with Spellcaster is what makes him as good as he is. All right, I just want to check out the final scenario before Violet taps out here. Okay. So we're looking at this happening. Is there like another attack I'm unfamiliar with? Because look, Violet has these bases. Maybe he just... This was disgusting. Like, I don't even... That is such good storming. That is some of the best tank storming I have ever seen in my entire life. There out of Violet. That was so good. Yeah, so look. End of the day here, right? This is virtually the end of the day. It's 113 to 99 supply. Flash has a lead. But, I mean, Violet's making 5 Zealots at a time back home. He's got 700 gas in the bank. He's mining from this mineral patch and this mineral patch. I think he could have kept going. Flash was not going to, like, walk across the map and kill him with this. I guess there was this, too, though. I mean, I think Flash had the upper hand in this position, but I really, really don't think he had it won, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So... I kind of feel robbed. I wanted to see a game where Heartbreak Ridge got entirely mined out, which we've never seen. Actually, I don't think we've seen it. We've seen it a couple times in games on like Fighting Spirit, but never this one. So I feel kind of robbed. But boy, fun game anyway. Really, I mean, Violet held his own. I was expecting this to be a more one-sided game than it was, to be honest. I just wanted to cast a Violet game, and I figured Flash would be fun. I figured Flash would win this thing much sooner, but. No, man. Violet expanding like he needs to, gets the upgrades, got that nice recall into Flash's base, somehow sneaks that in there, wipes out a couple of his bases, unfortunately loses 2 of his own too, but reestablishes and comes back within where he needs to be within a couple minutes. So, before we check out that final score, hit that like button if you enjoyed the game today. Subscribe too. I am here several times a week with Brood Warcasts. So look at this, 177,000 points, 172. That's very close. Units killed, 243 for Flash, 185 for Violet. Structures raised, 22 by Violet is pretty good. Flash only killed 14, which makes sense based on what I remember from the game. And then Violet, more minerals mined, more total spent. More total spent by 8,000. But just not enough, man. Tanks, the great equalizer, right? Mech is what it's all about. Amazing. Incredible. All right. Well, that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button and that subscribe. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. And you take care of yourself.